Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Hear My Voice. There we go. See, you hear my voice. So. Explore Expresso on a Thirsty Thursday for you. Kind of like this camera angle. It gives me long face. I swear I do. No, I didn't walk today. I haven't walked this week because of the uh, time constraints with all the having no assistant, but. I don't look that. Gosh, I mean, should I move back? Oh, what is it? Face for radio. I swear I don't look this bad. Anyway, glad you guys are along. Enough of me. It is a face for radio. Glad you're along here on your Thirsty Thursday. Last night, good news. It was the camera. It was my mouse. I believe the battery's going wonky, or my mouse is going bad, and I don't know. Taking a little bit of time to load in. There we go. As we are live from the greatest of Hawks, got my coconut cold foam, coconut cold brew cold foam. A lot of colds there, right? Say it 3 times fast. Coconut cold brew cold foam. Didn't even get it out. From coconut cold brew cold foam. Coconut cold brew cold foam. Here we go. They'll get it out there. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well today. Happy Thursday and happy Good News Day as the X's winning last night over those Milwaukee Milkmen. Come on. There we go. I need to kind of move this. Let's move me because I don't like where I'm at in the screen. Let's do this. Let's move me around. There we go. And maybe do this. This. No. This. No. This. This. Back to this. Yeah, but I kind of want to flip them, don't I don't like me being where I'm kind of blocked. Well, you guys are probably going, oh, that's okay. I don't mind you being blocked from the, let's see if I move myself. There we go. That's a little better. Slightly better. There we go. Look at me producing on the fly here. All right. What happened last night? Well, as I told you at this very seat yesterday, I said to you that if you score 7 runs 9 times out of 10, you're going to win in this league with the pitching staff that you have. Last night you scored 9 and you won fairly comfortably. I don't feel at any point really with Simon Bates pitching last night, did anyone feel like the thing was in danger once the X's got a lead and really built the lead up to, it was 5-2 one time, 6-2. We all felt pretty good, adding on some runs late. That's what this team does. This team, that's it. That is that. If this team scores 7, and I told you 5 yesterday because the team's averaging 5.4 runs a ball game and giving up 4.7. So if you're in that giving up 4, which you only gave up 4, you gave up less than your 4.7, and you scored more than your 5.4, you're going to be okay. And that's been the case. And when we talked about pretty simple math, pretty simple equation, you're not okay when those two things don't happen and your pin gives away and you wind up with scoring 3 runs, or your starting pitching gives away to give up 11 runs. That doesn't happen very often. So we'll take a question in the comments. I thought I'd have your highlights, but I'll be honest with you, I sort of forgot that I had them. Matt had given them to me last night, and I should have, when I came in last night, I should have pulled them and put them in here, and I didn't dawn on me until I pull up and there was a train, and that's another thing. I thought we'd had this agreement already that me and the trains and us and the trains would cooperate. Didn't cooperate. Came right here at the Bluff this morning or at lunchtime, and it was a slow go. I mean, it was about 25 cars backed up right by the school, and then when the train was gone, the gate wouldn't work. So they go around anyway. I can come rolling through here at 1 o'clock at night tonight, 12:30 at night tonight when I get it, whatever time it is. I can pull up there and sleep on the tracks, and nothing's going to happen. But lo and behold, right at high noon, right? It's crazy. I know it's through schedule and our schedule, but it'd be better to roll through it 1 o'clock at night. Now, granted, the neighbors probably don't like to have the trains rolling by at 1 o'clock at night, but I figure if you buy a house next to a train track, you kind of get used to it, I would think. So, like having a house next to the airport, you kind of get used to it. Anyway, I digress. What do you guys got today? Last night, pretty exciting games around the league. You had Cleveland walking off against King County. That's still jumbled up down there in the division we care about. Obviously, Kansas City, in their fandom, they're hardcore fans, and they have a little hardcore group. They don't have a real passionate group necessarily, except for their hardcore group. Their hardcore group is really passionate, and those folks have been really pushing the panic button the last 4 or 5 weeks. Yeah, their defense has been, their bullpen's been, rotation's been okay. They score a lot of runs, but they have the best record in the league. They have the best record in the month. And lo and behold, they're in a fine position. Their magic number now is 1 to clinch the postseason, which would make them, I believe, 18. Yeah, they'd clinched 18, 19. Didn't play 2021 to do 5 straight years, which I believe the record for them was 2, and that's sort of been the joke out of Pietro. So congratulations to those folks who are a game away. That is a combination of a win for the Kansas Cities and a loss for Fargo. I had them, the magic number, basically the same thing against Sioux City and Sioux Falls, but you can't really have a magic number against 2 teams. You got to have the last one, but that's for playoff positioning. The division is not clinched yet, although with the 11 to play, Sioux City's got 11. They've got 10. I believe it. I can tell you the magic number for that is. I did that this morning. That magic number, let's go at the top of the game notes. We've already been sent out today. The magic number for them playoff is 6, and then it drops considerably down. I'm sorry, for the division is 6. 2 going into tonight, but they can clinch tonight. I've got 1.5. Technically, it's 2, but 1 against Fargo, which means they'd clinch at least a playoff spot, which is all that the bottom line is. Now you've got a little more of a hill to climb. 11 for the playoff spot, 12 for Sioux Falls, and 16 for Lincoln and Fargo. That's the combinations of wins and losses with the team ahead and behind you. But division probably will not be settled to the weekend. Because it would not. When we get to game, it could even go as far as next week when we get to Kansas City. They could clinch the division facing the Explorers next week. It's possible. The math could work out that way. I sort of think, and I believe they're going to Winnipeg. I do think that they'll win at least 1 up there. Got to get them down to 4 for the division. Somebody else behind it will lose. So that's where they are. But again, I kind of think you're going to get to Kansas City, and either they're going to need 1 game to win the division or none. And as I kind of thought back in July, that maybe the Kansas City series won't mean nearly as much to Kansas City as it does to Sioux City, because you're still trying to get in then. I think it's a very, very good possibility that you're looking for a win or 2 there, or maybe a win there to get into the postseason. You could clinch sometime next week a postseason spot. Now, granted, your pecking order may be still in doubt. That may come down the weekend, but it looks like still you're going to have meaningful baseball. And I think the last weekend could very well be 4 teams trying to get positioning with the X's and Chicago, and then Cleveland and Sioux Falls. So talked about that last night or in the broadcast, and also talked about it a little bit on this show yesterday. Come on, mouse. I don't know why it's doing that. Anyway. All right, so there we go. That's what we got. We're live from the greatness of Hawks here in Sergeant Bluff. It is the premier place in this little neck of the woods. Great atmosphere, great people, great products, just a real this is a neighborhood shop that fits the neighborhood to a T. It's a great place. Plenty of options. Somebody was having a sandwich. I walked on the lunch. It smells delicious. I was like, dang, I need to get me more of those to go. All right. So where are we at tonight? Game number 3 with Milwaukee. Austin Drury going tonight. Ryan Zimmerman, good numbers for both. Chance to win a series. Winnipeg's playing Sioux Falls tonight. You can be no worse going into tomorrow, tied for second place in the division. You take care of your business, though you'll knock off another magic number off. And I was looking at some numbers from last year, and initially I was a little concerned because last year, the last 11, 12 ball games, the X's went 8-4. Had a really good finish to the month of August. As a matter of fact, prior to the Lincoln series, which was the last one of the year, Sioux City got to 500. I believe actually we're playing to get a game above after falling down. And I'm pulling these up right now. Last season's day by days, and Sioux City got down the final. Actually got a game above 500 on Friday, September 2nd, and looked to be in business. And we're 49-48, but then lost 3 in a row, finished 49-51, and did back out of the postseason after being so. You're not done until you're done, right? You're not clinched until you clinch. You can't, again, we get into next Friday, Saturday, or Thursday or whatever, and you've got a magic number of 1 or 2 or whatever. You're not into your head, and no matter how good you played pretty decent in the month of July. I would say probably third. The third best record in the month of July, and feel pretty good about that. So again, you've got to keep the gas pedal pressed. The one thing I would tell you is, unlike last year's August team, they actually got to 1 point 5 below 500 in the month of August. You haven't had that problem. You've been reversed. You were 4 and 5 above. So that little room for error, little margin of error, should make it a different run this year for Sioux City, barring any just major thing, meaning a long extended skid. I mean extended. I mean, you have to be a 9-game or 8-gamer. And even then, you're going to be hard-pressed not to make it. But at the same time, you've got to take care of your business. And this team didn't against Sioux Falls, has a chance tonight against Milwaukee. And you get a win tonight, you take a 2 or 3 from the Milkman. I think that's a big deal. And you go into the Fargo series, and knowing that you can really, against them, and what you're basically doing this weekend is playing to cut that playoff spot magic number down. You could actually, mathematically, as I look this up again, you come in this weekend, let's say you win the night, and then Fargo has to lose a night, that would be another 9. In theory, with a sweep this weekend, you could clinch a playoff spot. More than likely, it's probably going to happen on Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday over in Kansas City, but you can still clinch one. And so there's a lot of play here as we go into this weekend. But at the moment, here's where everybody stands here. Let me pull this up for you. Yep. Standings in the Association West. They had a little issue in point streak last night. I don't know if they fixed it or not, but I can tell you, here we go. Don't believe they did. Let's see here. They fixed it. Yeah, they did. They got it fixed last night. They got it fixed about an hour ago, it looks like. Milwaukee in the East, 2.5 games clear of Chicago. Now, that's where I go back to next weekend where, let's say it gets to 2, 1.5. The doubleheader is going to loom large. And you're Chicago, you take both pairs, you can cut it to 1 game with 3 to play next weekend. I don't know what the head-to-head between the two is, but that's a big situation next Friday when we get to Chicago. And depending on what happens between now and then, if the Dogs continue to play pretty well, they're 8 of their last 10, they won 5 in a row, that could be one of those series where, again, you may have already clinched your playoff spot and may know your order, and maybe you don't have as much to play for. That's a possibility, too. I still believe next weekend it's going to be 4 teams with tons to play for, I do believe. King County, 6.5 back. They're third now, and that's little separation between them, Lake Country, and Cleburne. Now, Lake Country and Cleburne are both 43 and 46 and 42 and 46. Actually, they didn't fix that, did they? They did not. Well, they did. Let me refresh that. King County is 44 and 45. That brings them 7 back. And then Lake Country's 43 and 46. There's 8 back. Cleburne won last night. They're 43 and 46. They're 8 back. The tiebreaker currently, I believe the tiebreaker goes to Lake Country in that scenario. Now, granted, still some time left, but Cleburne and Lake Country are tied for the fourth position in the association's East Division. Now, going to the West, a little different. Kansas City's opened up a 6-game lead again. They seem to be in pretty good shape once again. It's one of those things where, 2 weeks ago it was pretty much academic. Remember last week I sat here and told you division race on. It was on. Sioux City had pulled within 3 ball games, but mishaps in Sioux Falls. Kansas City keeps winning. That's what happened. It turned that whole thing back to 6 again. Sioux City 6 back, 46-42. Sioux Falls 44. I make that 46-44. There's 7 back, and then Fargo 42-47 with the tiebreaker head-to-head against Lincoln at the moment, I do believe. And those two teams are 10.5 back. Remember, we were worried about Lincoln. They're 4.5 back now, and we were worried about them because they're the one team that had your number. Well, they're going to be there. It's a struggle, and it looks like at the moment Sioux Falls and Sioux City are safe. Still, a lot of things can change between now and next Monday, the off day. And Winnipeg 39-51. Now, Winnipeg's out of the division race, but Winnipeg is. I've got them 3.5 back with 10 to play, I believe. And I'm sorry, 11 to play. They've got to get in the postseason. They're going to need to win and win a lot and have, a sweep for Sioux City over Fargo and perhaps Lincoln to lose as well. Now, where is everybody going to be this weekend? I'll go through this again tomorrow, but I'll give you a little quick update. Everybody sits this weekend because over the weekend, Winnipeg will host Kansas City. Sioux Falls will be hosting Lincoln. And then Lincoln, again, then Fargo is going to be at Sioux City. So that's coming up tomorrow. All righty. Don't see my questions or comments. This might be a quick show, which is fine. It's all good. I got things to do. Got things to do today, right? But, it's meaningful baseball. And, tonight I believe we should have a pretty good indication of what the playoff roster would look like going forward because those things will all be sort of settled tonight. And the league's got to get that, I think after the ball game tonight. I'll ask Mongo that when I get there, but I believe I can't remember if they send the roster in because you have to have your postseason roster in obviously the day of the first game, but you got to have everybody in your arsenal of players on your injured list, your inactive list. They've got to be secured and procured all by tonight. So whatever you go with tomorrow is what your pool is. So say for example, player A was on the injured list and you've already, he's on your roster. Player A can be activated at any point between now and even the postseason. But if you, for some reason, of course, this happened a couple of years ago, I believe it was Kansas City acquired a catcher, needed a catcher, and that guy was able to catch the last week of the season, but did not play in the postseason because that was already past that deadline. So anyway, 10 days, right? So that's today, right? Am I counting that right, Kevin? Today's Thursday, right? Should be correct. Make sure I'm counting this up here. Or is that tomorrow? All right, let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so it's Friday. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, it's Friday. Okay, so I'm a day off. I thought it was Friday. It always was Friday before. So scratch that. I just taught myself because of my days of the week. But, I told this story 1,000 times in the air, but I remember signing a player during the break, and the play-by-play voice of the other team walks it over my shoulder and saying, "Hey, you hear anything?" I go, "No, I don't know anything." And the Southwest Airlines website's open, and I'm on the website. He doesn't look down at my computer. After the game, he's like, "Here's what's happened." He's like, "You SOB." When you're standing right there looking at my computer, you didn't know I was doing it. So, yeah. Anyway, thanks, Kevo. So that comes up tonight. I mean, sorry, tomorrow. I got my days and nights mixed up. Assuming it's been late nights, man. Last night wasn't nearly as bad. Just get these. I don't know. I know the league likes us to do game notes. And that's sort of what we do, and I use them for broadcast for me. But I don't know how helpful they are. I don't know if anybody actually reads them. I send them out, and I don't know if they're any good. If people really care, I don't know. I get the feeling that it's sort of a futile effort, but I do it anyway because I feel like it's the thing we should do, and the league wants it done. Yeah, it's Labor Day. Backtrack from there. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I, for some reason, was thinking Sunday and not thinking Monday. Labor Day's Monday. You always remember, it's weird because that whole weekend, you feel like that Sunday is that Monday is a Sunday. It's always the same. Every year we finish on that Monday, but always in my head think, because it's a day game almost always, that's a Sunday, but it's actually a Monday. So that's actually tomorrow. But thanks, Kev. I appreciate you, mate. But yeah, I don't know if the league encourages us to do game notes. We're supposed to be doing notes. We send them out to the media. It's a long process every day. It's not really something that one person can do them if you do them just in tabulation style, meaning they're just numbers. But I like to add things like historical flashbacks, and those take time and research. But that's what I'm doing for the broadcast anyway is what I'm doing for the game notes. So I'm going to use those in the broadcast. I might as well put them in the game notes, right? So, yeah, I appreciate it, Kevin. I always forget. Again, I know it's that Labor Day, but it's funny because that Labor Day Monday, there'll be a college football game on that night. It'll feel like Sunday. It's sort of like New Year's holiday when it falls on a Monday. You ever had that Monday, New Year's Day on a Monday, or Tuesday and it feels like a Sunday? Anyway, but yeah, so tomorrow night, and I don't know. I didn't see anything today. I haven't been on in a few minutes, but this morning when I was up earlier, I didn't see anything come across, but it doesn't mean it's not. Kansas City did sign John Correa. Bezdezchek got activated. That's pretty much it. I mean, there's not Milwaukee's son Chris Osiris Herman. Don't know anything about him, but I do know I'd heard in the wire, some things from different teams. There were some things in the works, but nothing major. And like I told you guys, I thought yesterday that we'd heard a lot. It looked like some flurry was happening for the first time in a couple of years, but it kind of is calmed down, but still can happen. I mean, Sioux Falls made the most noise the last couple of days, and we'll see. Boy, it's a real interesting situation when you're trying to make the postseason and get your roster sorted and all that. The X's, again, I think last night are showing the John Nagowski effect. The X's with John in the lineup are batting .320 as a team since he's been here. The power numbers have returned. They've been there this weekend. Now, granted, I take out the Sioux Falls series because that ballpark, everyone tries to hit a home run there. But the X's have hit 6 home runs in this series, three on back-to-back nights, and the power strokes returned after a week ago. Only have a home run in 7 days, one. So they the no-go effect is good. It looks solid, and I think it's you're seeing the fruits of what that piece has added. That it wasn't a trade, but a guy coming back from Mexico just makes everybody else that much better. One more thing, too, I think it's very interesting to see the 2 bottom guys the last couple of nights, and Chase Harris in particular, and his first RBI since August, I believe, 3rd. But he's been getting on base and been getting at the bottom of the card, getting on base. If that starts to happen, Scott Oda, who's been red hot, is just feasting. That's what's happening. He's feasting on, guys aboard in front of him. The other thing is it looks like the X's are trying to figure out what to do there in the middle infield at short. Miguel Sierra has been up and down a bit. Delvin Zinn has been up and down a bit. One of the two is going to be your guy, if not both. they're both going to play a role in this thing, but I think Steve Montgomery's trying to figure out, does he have one over the other, or does he have one every day? It's been Sierra for the most part, but after that really good, July stretch, he's cooled a bit and still hovering around at 200. He's a AAA guy with really good numbers there, and has really scuffled a bit here from time to time, although he's had some really big hits, clutch hits. I mean, he has 4 game-winning RBIs, 2 walk-off winners. So I think that's the thing. But like I talked about yesterday, from within, and if you're getting a contribution from Chase Harris from within, and John Nagowski was part of your plan too, that takes the pressure off how to make some kind of blockbuster deal. And it doesn't mean you don't, but it means you can be a little more selective and not just throw caution in the wind and say, oh, we got to get something. I think the wish list would be, we talked about that pretty much is it. Maybe one more arm, perhaps. By the way, I thought really Parker Caracci pitched really well. The unearned run last night, but I thought he pitched very well. He's nothing more than a bulldog reliever that goes out there and it just does his job. He is the classic reliever, not a lot of flash, just do the job. He's sort of a very similar type approach that Ken Hasler's been for you. He's that same kind of guy. Not going to get 30, 40 saves, but he's going to get a lot of shutdown innings, a lot of holds, and he's going to stop any kind of issues. He pitched very well last night. Again, the unearned run, that was all the X's, but all righty. What else you guys got? Anybody else have a question, comment? Show us X's Expresso. Dan Vaughn with you from here at Hawks and Sergeant Bluff as we talk the Explorers on a Thursday. Tonight, Thursday, final one. A little warm out tonight. I can't see why you wouldn't want to come out and enjoy a beverage of choice. Cool down a bit. Which, by the way, it's not always triple digits in August. I stumbled across a story today from 1934 when it was a little frosty, almost very autumn-esque, what the paper said. On a breezy, cool night here, they had a night game, and I'm going to tell you about that story tonight. Do you know what $10 was worth? $10 was worth back in 1934. Anyone take care to guess how much that's worth in today's terms? Well, about $114.60. I'm going to tell you about a sawbuck situation tonight on the pregame show that I stumbled across. Pretty fun stuff. Again, seat cushions and police being called in, but the umpires drew the line in the sand. We'll talk about that tonight on the broadcast. That should be fun. So we take our time machine, go back in time to 1934. We'll do that this evening. Also, get you ready for tonight. At 6:35, the pregame begins on KSCJ and AA Baseball TV. Matt and the crew on AA Baseball TV have got that rolling. We several teams do it, and I love what we do, and that is roll the pregame. Granted, you won't see us talking on video, but you'll at least hear what we're doing on the radio. You'll see that on AA Baseball TV tonight coming up at 6:35, and the radio side begins at the same time, KSCJ, and there we go. Your home for Explorers baseball tonight. Game number 3, final Thursday night regular season game, and these are there's a lot of ways to look at it. Really, 2. You just keep winning, and you do your job. You're going to take care of it yourself. Steve Montgomery, by the way, needs 2 more wins to get to 500 wins as an Explorers skipper, and that's a milestone that's pretty impressive. He's already the winningest manager, but he's 500 mark is coming up. He's 2 more. But you take care of business. It takes the pressure off next week. You don't, that still hangs over your head until you get it done. And so it's there for the taking tonight. It'd be a great series win over Milwaukee. I'm sure a lot of teams in the East are pulling for us. Very appreciative of that, but not because they like us. It is just to win. To hurt Milwaukee, but I get it, man. I get it. We're all there, right? We all understand that it works, right? We all get it. All right. We can come on down to Sarge Bluff, get the best coffee in town right here. I love this place. Oh my gosh, I'm here. I can't wait to audit myself in the off season. What did I spend on coffee? I think I bought myself a nice row of chairs here. But anyway, all good. All right, everybody. We'll see you tonight at the ballpark. Come out and see us. You only got 4 more home regular season games. I know it's warm. Tomorrow night, obviously Friday Night Lights. That's going to have a lot of effect on what goes on across the league. And Saturday, Sunday, a great weekend coming up. Tomorrow night's Friday night's the first responder night. Tomorrow evening. What else? Oh, yeah, we've also got – sorry about this. I had this a moment ago. I meant to tell you guys a moment ago. We've got Friday night. Tomorrow night's Wilfredo Jimenez T-shirts. So if you've got a collection of this year, you got the Solomon Bates, and you've got all the different ones we've had, the Ortega, Fernandez, we've had Matt Lloyd, all those. Complete your collection tomorrow night with Wilfredo Jimenez. I love them. It's really cool. We're the only team in the league where you see in the stands people wearing shirts with players' names and numbers on them. And it's so cool. And our own guys wear them. They wear, their buddies, their mates' T-shirts as well. But you'll see them, and you'll see folks in the stands wearing, a Lang T-shirt or whoever from years gone by. It's really cool to see those. So that'll be tomorrow night, rather, pardon me. And it's first responders night. A Saturday night baseball card giveaway. I've not actually seen the cards, but I see the photos that were used for the cards. Really good stuff. And also Sunday's Fan Appreciation Day. Going to be baskets every inning to one lucky fan. I talked about this last night. Also 20% off in the team shop. $5 alcoholic beverages. There's also military jersey auction. I talked about this last night on the broadcast. I walked in the conference room. It's where I do the printing of the game notes and the stat packs. And there's a whole stack of spoils there. And I thought, maybe these are for me. There's a big bag of candy. That's a big, huge shopping bag of candy. And I finally asked, who's all this stuff for? Well, it's for Fan Appreciation Day. T-shirts, caps, snacks, all that. Casey says, let's see your Casey, but yeah, the series of Fargo will be massive. You can, again, mathematically, as I mentioned earlier, I don't know if you heard this, Casey, but the mathematics of it quickly as we close here. Sioux City to get in the postseason 11, you win tonight, that cuts to 10. Let's say Sioux Falls to lose, you cut it to 9. Fargo was the lose, you cut it to 9. You could go in this weekend with the right mathematical equation. You could be one game away from clinching a postseason spot. The right things happen. We'll see 10. I'm sorry, did I say 9? Yeah, 10, 9. You could cut it to perhaps 2 games for the weekend. But Fargo, hey, don't sleep on Fargo yet. I thought about this morning. They've been wounded and really limping along there. But if they get in, like anybody, they're scary. But they're the defending champions. They get in, and don't you know they love the underdog role against Kansas City? Assuming that's who Kansas City picked. I feel pretty strongly Kansas City would pick them if they're if they get in. I do believe that'll happen, but Kansas City could shop me and go ahead, go the short route. But anyway, yeah, ready to go tonight, Case. We're ready to go and rock it tonight. All right, you guys ready? I got to get out of here. I got to get some stat packs done, and I got to hustle up a little lunch, perhaps. Looks like it's been one of those. I'm out of supplies at the house. I told you that last night. All right, broadcast tonight. See you then. Let's get a series win. Let's get a 1, 2, 3 go X's. Going to see you guys. Love y'all. And from here at Hawks, be back again tomorrow at noon. Hopefully I'll stumble across some highlights. I had them, but again, I may run out of time again tomorrow. We'll see. We got to get these daggum game notes done. They're done. They're done at noon. They're done at 11 o'clock today. So there you go. Did require late night, but they're done. All right, love you guys. We'll see you on the broadcast tonight. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Go X's. I'll see you on the broadcast tonight, everybody.